Hello YouTube, what's good Team Gripst? Today I would like to share something personal with you guys. So as you guys know, I like to keep journals. I like to write down my thoughts in my journals. For example, last year I wrote down the 10 key elements to being a great poker player. This year, as I continue to think about, what makes the perfect poker player, I came up with a list that I think is pretty unique, and I would like to share that with you today. I was trying to figure out the best way to do it, because usually I just speak to the camera, but I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss anything. As when I write down my thoughts, I tend to only put down the good stuff, and I tend to make sure that all the juice is included, and I don't want us to lose it with the squeeze. So if it's all right with you, I am going to read directly from my journal and directly from my cell phone. Usually first I put my thoughts in my cell phone because that's what's with me, and then when I get home, at the end of the day, I'll fine-tune things and write them in my journal for safekeeping. So let's take a look at what makes the perfect poker player. I've been blessed to have a lot of incredible teachers and mentors in my poker career. In fact, I've been gifted the rare stroke of good fortune to share experiences with some of the game's all-time greatest. Each of them is a very unique being. Each has his strengths, those areas in which he excels way ahead of everyone else, and this is what makes them stand out. They also, however, all these mentors I've had, they all had one thing in common: a desire to improve every day, to learn how to be a better player in one way or another, and to be unsatisfied with their status quo, no matter how successful they've been. And that key element right there is what makes them champions. Great example of this is Gregg Merson, who after winning the 10K Six Max in the main event for $10 million, once he got set up in Jersey, he was right back on the grind, six tabling 1-2 to 5-10 no limit, because he just wanted to stay sharp, stay in the game, keep getting better, keep fine-tuning his craft, and keep doing what he loves. Now, these players, these people, they aren't perfect. They have their shortcomings as well. They are human after all. And they have struggles, challenges, and weaknesses. Just like you, just like me. It's normal. We're humans, and humans weren't meant to be perfect. Maybe on a magazine cover, maybe on a computer image. But those humans, they're not real. So recognize that nobody can excel in all areas at all times. Those areas that were extra developed were at the expense of other areas being underdeveloped and sometimes even neglected. So yeah, that development, that extreme development in important areas will be at the expense of other areas. But this video isn't about that. This video isn't about the shortcomings of myself and my students and my mentors. This video is about what the perfect poker player looks like. And to me, in my personal experience, having played the game for over 11 years and having studied from under the very best players in the game, this is what the perfect poker player looks like to me. The perfect poker player has the work ethic and the execution of a Gregg Merson. The perfect poker player has the presence and the one-track focus of a Tony Gregg. The perfect poker player has the fearlessness and the creativity of a Calvin Anderson. The perfect poker player has the fundamentals and the consistency of a Dan Smith. The perfect poker player has the self-awareness and the intuition of an Andrew Lichtenberger. The perfect poker player has his scheduling down and a balanced life like a Grayson Ramage. The perfect poker player has the natural talent and the absorbability, or the ability to emulate others, of a Griffin Benger. The perfect poker player has the gamble and the versatility to play many different formats and many different games, like an Ankush Mandavia. The perfect poker player has the heart and the will to win of a Simon Charette. The perfect poker player has the confidence and the table talk of a Carrel. And finally, the perfect poker player has the hunger and the openness of an Imsirovic. All these players share a devotion to the game, a trust and confidence in themselves, and finally an aim to improve in all areas at all times, never satisfied, never finished. So I invite you to now engage in a little exercise, if you so choose. And I encourage you to pause the video once I give you the instructions for maximum effect. So my invitation to you is to write down what your version of the perfect poker player looks like. It might be one player, it might be a combination of 3, 5, 15, 20. You name it. Write it down, write down the attributes, the elements, anything about it, about that person that makes them the perfect poker player. Pause the video, do that now. Okay, got your list? Good. So, now that you have this list, I want you to call on these attributes in yourself when you need them. So instead of just asking yourself, what would Gregg Merson do in this situation? You can ask yourself, what would the perfect poker player do in this situation, and get multiple perspectives and multiple answers instead of just one single way of looking at things. And as you do this, recognize the key is that all these attributes that you have listed are simply a reflection of you. They are a reflection of your highest self in others. Because at the end of the day, we are all one from the same source with the same skills, just waiting to be developed. Powerful stuff, right? First time I did that exercise, I was blown away. Because we have all those things in us. So from now on, when I play poker, I'm going to think of this hero, this archetype that I've created, and recognize that all the great traits he possesses, these championship skills, are traits that I possess as well. Because, yeah, like I said, we're all humans, cut from the same cloth. We all have the same abilities, the same potentials. It's all just a matter of believing it, developing it, and executing it. So I encourage you to do the same. Take your hero, take your archetype, and know that that perfect poker player is you in the future. And I would just like to end this video by giving thanks to all my mentors. I appreciate all that you've done for me, and I look forward to continuing to watch you guys just be incredible poker players, incredible human beings, incredible gifts to the world. Thank you. And until next time, you guys know what to do. Take what you learned, go out there, and make the magic happen.